My name is Stevie and I'm going to be guiding you through a short yoga sequence today. We're going to be weight bearing on our hands and also on our knees, and there are a few twists and gentle back bends. So if you have an underlying medical condition, or maybe you've had a procedure completed recently and you're not sure if yoga is right for you, double check with your healthcare providers. So we start in a comfortable seated position. We can take the attention to the sound of the breath at the nose, and you might like to close your eyes, or you can look down at the mat in front of you and a comfortable position for your arms, so maybe hands on the knees or maybe hands at the chest. So we notice the sound of the breath of the nose, so breath moving in and breath moving out. And we're noticing the length of the breath, so notice the inhale and notice the exhale. And it might be a little bit challenging to focus on the breath, so maybe there's a sound that's distracting you, or maybe your body is distracting you, or maybe you've got thoughts that keep popping into your head. That is perfectly normal. We're not trying to change that in any way, we're not trying to ignore anything. We're noticing when that happens, and we bring the focus back to the next inhale, noticing the sound, the length of the inhale, noticing the exhale, breath moving in, and breath moving out. And checking in with ourselves physically. So notice how your body feels. Maybe you've had a busy day so far. Or maybe you're feeling full of energy or a little bit fatigued. Checking in, noticing what is, feeling into your body. And even taking a moment to notice how you're feeling emotionally and mentally too. Your mind could be quite busy. And again, we're not trying to change anything, we're simply noticing what is. And you might be able to encourage the breath that little bit further down into the chest. You may like to use your hands, so one to rest on your lower belly, the other one in the center of the chest. And we encourage the breath to move all the way down to that lower hand, so feeling the belly rise and fall as you breathe. Breath moving in and breath moving out. Finding a rhythm with your breathing. So breath moving in and out, finding your rhythm with your breathing. And then we gently bring the hands back to rest at the chest. You can open the eyes, and as you breathe in, circle the arms around. As you breathe out, draw the hands down. As you breathe in, float the elbows into what the fingers draw the shoulder blades together. As you breathe out, gently press the palms forward. As you breathe in, draw the hands up towards the ceiling. Release so that the fingers head up towards the ceiling, and relax your shoulders. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, left hand comes down, right hand comes over. And then gently come up. Try the other side. So right hand down, left hand over, relaxing that supporting shoulder, spreading the fingers, breathing into the other side of the body. And then bring both hands up, big inhale. Exhale to circle the hands. Let them rest on your lower back as you roll your shoulders back. Gently lift the chest, so draw the elbows back. And then exhale your hands back. So we breathe in. Exhale your hands down. As you breathe in, float your elbows, draw your shoulder blades together. As you breathe out, gently press forward. As you breathe in, draw your hands up. Separate the palms so the fingers move up and away. Left hand down, right hand over. Breathe in to come up. Try the other side, so breathe out. Breathe in to bring both hands up. Exhale to circle the arms. Roll the shoulders back, gently lift the chest. Exhale your hands back. Bring both hands up as you inhale, separate palms. Exhale towards the left. Let that right hand rest on your left knee, left hand behind you for a little bit of support. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen your spine as you breathe in, softening your shoulders as you breathe out. And then with the next inhale, come back to center, and then try the other side. So left hand to right knee, right hand behind you for a bit of support, relaxing your shoulders. Gently come back to center as you inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands down to rest at the chest. Let your hands come to rest on your knees. Take your shoulders from one side to the front and then to the other side and back. So you're doing a nice big circle. Feel into your back. Notice what's happening as you take the shoulders across. As you gently round the spine, make sure your tailbone feels okay with that. And then you gently lift the center of the chest. A nice big circle. So you breathe in to come forward, breathe out to come back. And if we're forgetting to breathe, I don't mind if you breathe in to come forward and breathe out to come back. I just need you to still be breathing. So don't forget to breathe, please. And we come back to center, go back the other way. So still breathing, nice full breath in, nice soft exhale. Notice how your back feels. Feel the weight move from one sitting bone to the other. Gentle breath in and gentle breath out. And we gently come back to center. Notice any sensation in the body. And then when you're ready, come over onto your knees. So you can bring your legs around to the side, or you could roll forward onto your knees. Make sure that feels okay. And we have our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Turn your toes away so that you're not sort of cramping the toes by tucking them under. We lengthen crown of the head forward, tailbone back. As you exhale, gently round the spine. So similar to what you were just doing when you were sitting up. And then we gently inhale and lengthen the front of the body, pressing with your fingers in your palms. If your wrists are not happy with that, put a blanket underneath the heel of your hands just to prop up your wrists a little bit, take some pressure out of the wrist. Similarly, if your knees are not enjoying this, then put something underneath your knees to support. So we breathe in to lengthen as we breathe out and around. Try another one, breathe in. And breathe out. And then come back to your neutral position. You can tuck your toes under and press back. If this is uncomfortable, we'll give you a couple of options. So you can just stretch the back of the legs by releasing the ball of the foot into the floor and one heel back. And you can go left and right to stretch the back of the legs, keeping your hips nice and square and feeling into the legs. So noticing how that feels for you. If it's all good and you're like, yes, I know what we're doing, then press back into your downward dog if that's where you would usually go, and you stay there while I just give you a couple more options. So if you're not familiar with downward dog, you might try weight bearing on the legs. Make sure your shoulders are feeling okay, and you can keep one knee bent and then the other, so just alternating left and right. Maybe you might be releasing both heels to the floor instead, so noticing how that feels. Just pressing into the soles of the feet, feeling into the toes. Feeling down the back of the legs, so the weight's definitely in the legs, but not sort of over the top of the hands. You shouldn't be looking at your fingertips, you should be looking more forward if your neck's okay. If you were to look forward, you'd be looking at the heel of your hand, not your nails. And then we gently need to bring our feet towards our hands, so you can come down to your knees and step forward, or you might just gently walk your feet towards your hands. If the floor's a little bit too far away, you lift the chest, so that you're not straining to get your hands down. And we have fingertips to the floor if you can manage with bent knees, or palms to the shins if the floor is too far away, so again, I don't want you to be straining. Or you might have a block instead that you use so that you can have a little bit of support, or you may need a chair there instead. So find some props that might help you. And then as we breathe in, we lengthen the spine. As we breathe out, relax your upper body as much as you can manage, so again, using your support if you need. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, lift from the front of the pelvis, nice and grounded in the feet, so feeling all of your toes working, filling up the legs, all the way up to your fingertips, and exhale your hands down. And noticing your breathing here, so grounded down into the feet, feeling into the lower belly, encouraging the inhale down as far as you can manage, filling up to your collarbones, nice big breath in, relaxing your shoulders as you breathe out. Try not to press your knees back, so you're not locking your knees, so they're off lock and you've got weight evenly spread into the feet. And then as we breathe in, we lengthen as much as we can, creating space. As we breathe out, we press our palms down and away. Circle the arms nice and wide as you breathe in. Exhale to take the chest forward, hips back as your hands come down, bending your knees if you need to, using your block if you need to. Stepping your left foot back. And then we can gently let the knee come down. You can turn the toes away, bring the right knee back. You might need to use your knees. If you're not using your knees, you're coming straight back into your downward dog. So we tuck the toes under if we're not there already, and we press the weight down the back of the legs. The same options as what I gave you before. So if this is uncomfortable for your upper body, then we're just simply doing our stretch for the back of the legs instead. If you're in your downward dog pose, we're pressing the heels down as much as you like and maybe alternating left and right, depends how you feel. And then whatever option you're in, we're shifting our weight forward into our palms, so you may have your knees down at this point. If we've got our knees down, we come down, thighs, belly and chest, and if you don't have your knees down, you come down all in one, so you're moving from your plank pose. Elbows slide past the body. And then your options to use your forearms to gently support as you lift, or you might prefer to try your cobra pose, so legs are together, pressing with your hips into the floor, tucking your elbows in, inhaling your chest forward and up as you breathe in, and exhale down. Tucking your toes under, coming up the way you went down, so using your knees if you need to, so pressing the floor away, and back into your downward dog if that feels okay. Or you might like your child's pose here for just a little bit of a rest. And then we shift the weight into the right foot if you're in your downward dog, and you bring your left foot up. You bend your right knee, you sweep your left knee up to the chest, left foot to left thumb. So on the inside of the thumb, ankle under the knee. If you've got your knees down, you're simply helping that left foot forward. Then we come forward into our forward fold with that right foot coming forward, using your block if you need to. Fingertips to the floor or palms to the shins. And then we soften as we breathe out, relax your arms. Noticing the weight in the arms, the softness in the back of the neck, feeling the stretch up the back of the legs. And when you're ready, you soften your knees, lift from the front of the pelvis, nice and grounded in the feet, you slowly roll up. Inhale your arms up, and exhale your hands down. So you're in your mountain pose, checking in with the breath again, so maybe one hand on the lower belly, the other hand on the chest. Full breath in and out. Feeling nice and grounded, noticing how your body feels. Noticing if the breath is shortened slightly, so maybe the exhale is slightly shorter. Let's try and lengthen that, so we're breathing in and out, nice and slow and full. Finding that rhythm again. So coming back to your breath, noticing how your body's feeling, checking in physically. And we bring our hands to rest at the chest as we breathe in. As we breathe out, press your palms down and away. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the chest forward, hips back. It'll be your right foot that comes back this time. So step your right foot back. Same options as before, so the knee can come down if you want to. Or you can step back into your downward dog if that feels okay. Again, same options, the knees can be down and you're just stretching the back of the legs. Or you might alternate one leg and then the other. Making sure that our shoulders feel okay, making sure we're not feeling lightheaded, everything's feeling pretty good. And then we shift our weight forward to come into our plank pose. You might have your knees down straight away, or you might prefer to keep your knees up this time to see how you feel. So we're adjusting and feeling into our body, making sure that we're taking care of our body and not overdoing it. Shifting the weight forward if you're doing the plank pose, and gently coming down. Turning your toes away, either using your forearms to support you or tucking your elbows in and pressing the floor away to come up into your cobra pose and then gently come down. We tuck our toes under, come up the way you went down. So if you're using your knees, you use your knees. If you're using a plank pose, you come through your plank pose, and back into your downward dog. And then we shift the weight into the left foot and we float the right. If you're in your downward dog pose, you bend that supporting knee, sweep the right knee up, foot to the thumb, helping it forward if you need to. Bringing the knee down to make sure that you get the foot forward where it needs to be. And then stepping forward, fingertips to the floor, or maybe palms to the shins, or using your block or whatever support you have. And then relaxing into your forward fold. So relax your arms. You might like the option of taking hold of your shoulder blades, taking hold of your elbows. So relaxing the arms. It might feel nice to do a gentle sway from one side to the other. So just allowing your body to soften. Making sure that feels okay. Peel back. Relaxing your arms. Gently bending your knees, slowly rolling up. And inhaling your arms up. And exhale down. So back in your mountain pose, noticing how you feel. Maybe focusing on the breath at the lower belly. Evening out the breath. Noticing breath moving in and breath moving out. Then our hands can come back to rest at the chest. We breathe in to lengthen the spine, we breathe out to press the palms down. Big circle as you breathe in. Exhale to take your chest forward, hips back. We're stepping back so we can bring our knees down. So just one foot back and then the other, sitting back onto your heels. Bring your legs around. And if you have a block or a towel or a pillow or something to keep your hips off the floor, we can add to our constructive rest pose. So it needs to be something fairly solid. You don't need to do this option though. So if you've done constructive rest pose with me before, it's simply resting with the hips resting on the floor. If you want to slightly lift the hips, it's like a supported bridge pose. You can bring your block underneath so that it is in the center of the pelvis, so just above the tailbone, the sacrum. We're not on our lower back and we're not on our thighs. We're definitely supporting the pelvis. The pelvis feels nice and grounded. You can tuck your shoulder blades under so you're opening the chest, but not if that's uncomfortable. So comfortable arms, comfortable upper body. Make sure your neck's feeling okay. The hips are slightly lifted, which is an inversion. So if you're feeling lightheaded or anything feels uncomfortable, we're coming out of this position and lying flat or finding a comfortable seated position instead. And our feet are in line with our knees and our hips. If you find that your knees go out to the side, you can use a strap around your legs, or you could have a block between the thighs instead. So allowing your body to be nice and soft. Have a decent exhale. Empty the lungs. And narrowing the focus down to maybe the sound of the breath at the nose. You might prefer to focus on the heart space, on the center of the chest. Or you might like to work on that belly breath and focus on the lower belly area. So whatever your point of focus is, we notice inhale and exhale. And paying attention to your body, noticing any sensation in your body. And you might like to imagine that the exhale begins above the crown of the head and it moves down through the body, one breath after another. So as the exhale moves down from the crown of the head into the face, the shoulders, the chest, the hips, down the legs into the feet and the toes. One breath after another, like a nice soft wave moving down your body. And then when you're ready, you may like to continue focusing on your breath and spend a few more minutes here. Or you may like to bring a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes and gently circle the hands. And take your block, if you're using a block, and just put it to one side. And bring the knees up to the chest. Give them decent hugs, a nice hug. Not so that you lift your hips off the floor and it presses into your lower back, but just so you can feel a nice little hug there. Feeling into the hips. Make sure your knees are feeling okay, so we're not creating any extra pressure in the knees. You might rock naturally, you might just rock from one side to the other, you might circle the knees. And we can let our feet come down to rest, and you might let the knees go from one side to the other, keeping your shoulders nice and grounded. So we're just bringing a bit of movement back into the body. Movement into the lower back, softening into the lower back. And then I'll bring our feet back in. Stretch your arms overhead. Bring the hands back. And you can rock and roll to come forward if you like, or to keep that nice relaxed response in the body, it's ideal that you roll to the side to come forward. Comfortable seated position, noticing sensation in the body. Bringing the hands to rest at the chest. And namaste. Thank you for joining me.